I'm Andy Geeter, Vice President of Enrollment Management at Andrew College. Well, thank you for joining me for part 3 of our financial aid session, where we look at federal, state, and institutional funds. I'm going to share my screen so we can get started. Let's initially look at what is financial aid. Financial aid typically comes in 4 forms. Financial aid is money available to help afford the cost of a college education. First, it would be grants. Grants typically do not have to be repaid. It's free money, whether at the federal, state, or institutional level. Scholarships generally don't have to be repaid, but you may have to keep certain academic criteria or other criteria. For example, if you are receiving a soccer scholarship, it's an expectation that you're playing soccer. If a student is receiving an academic scholarship, maybe an expectation they keep a certain GPA. Fine arts scholarship, they participate in recitals and stage productions. Loans typically do have to be repaid. We'll talk more about those a little bit later. Work study generally is money for the student while they're in school. They're working a job on campus, usually no more than about 10 hours a week. The 23-24 school year FAFSA is based upon the tax return completed for the 2021 calendar year, and that's the one you filed by April 15th, 2022. Now, you can directly import your tax information from the IRS into the FAFSA. However, it's a very good idea to have a copy of your 2021 tax return with you as you file the FAFSA. Also, information about savings accounts and investments, because those may be asked, or will be asked actually, on the current FAFSA form. Now, unless a student meets very specific criteria, the FAFSA does require both student and parent income information. And just as a reminder, the FAFSA is an income-driven tool. It does not take debt into account. Now, looking first at federal aid programs. For the country as a whole, the biggest source of money for college is the federal government. For our students, the biggest source of funds is actually the institution. We'll look at institutional aid here in a few moments. For the 23-24 school year, the Pell Grant has been increased to $7,395 as a maximum award. The Pell Grant is done on a sliding scale. So typically a student with a 0 expected family contribution, as we talked about in the previous session, would have a Pell Grant award of $7,395. And that scale would slide down. So for example, a student with a $4,000 EFC might have a Pell Grant somewhere in the $3,000 range until it finally fades out around the $7,000 level. Students are eligible for Stafford loans. As an incoming student, freshman is eligible for a total of $5,500 in loans. $3,500 of that may be subsidized, which basically means that the interest is paid by the government while the student is in school. The other $2,000 will not be subsidized. That means the interest does accrue while the student's in school. For both of these, repayment can be deferred until the student graduates or is out of school for 6 months. College work study, we actually set an institutional limit of about $1,100. We do have an application that will come out during the summertime. So if a student is interested in work study, they can fill out the application, and if they're selected, we'll place them in a job on campus. Our students work in a number of different areas on campus, including staff offices, departmental offices, and the athletic area, and the student life area as well. Federal PLUS loans. For our PLUS loans are available for parents. It stands for Parent Loan to Undergraduate Students. The maximum a parent can take out in a Parent PLUS loan is the cost of attendance, that total cost of attendance. minus aid that the student's already receiving. So let's say the total cost of attendance, which includes, again, living expenses, estimates for books, things like that. Let's say it's $35,000 and a student is receiving $20,000 in aid. A parent could apply for up to $15,000 with the PLUS loan. However, we usually don't recommend that. We recommend they take what they need, certainly, but don't take more than that because, again, as a loan, it does have to be repaid. With the PLUS loan, payments can also be deferred until the student is out of college, and interest does accrue on those loans. With the PLUS loan, there is a credit check to it. So if a parent is denied a PLUS loan, they can either get a cosigner, much like you do if you were getting an automobile or an apartment, or that student may be eligible for an additional $4,000 in an unsubsidized Stafford loan. Moving along to state aid programs. We actually had high hopes this year because there is an increase to the Hope Scholarship for the 2023-2024 school year. However, there was a line item veto to awarding more money to students who attend private colleges. So the amount of money for the Zell Miller Scholarship and the Hope Scholarship will be the same as it was this year. So that's Zell Miller, $5,954 per year. For the Hope Scholarship, $4,654 per year. The Hope Scholarship, a student has to have a 3.0 coming out of high school. For the Zell Miller Scholarship, they have to have at least a 3.7 or higher GPA and at least a 1200 SAT or a 26 ACT, and those have to be in one sitting. So they can't be what's referred to as super scored. So in other words, you can't take the math from the January administration and the EBRW from the September administration, put those scores together. With the Hope Scholarship and with the Georgia Tuition Equalization Grant, decisions about eligibility and scholarship amounts are made by the Georgia Student Finance Commission, not by Andrew College. If Georgia Student Finance tells us that a student is eligible for Hope Scholarship, that will be placed on their financial aid award letter. If they tell us that they are not eligible for the Hope Scholarship, then that will not be placed on their award letter. Again, that's not up to Andrew College. That is a state level decision. This is perhaps the least well-known program in the state as far as student assistance. It's known as the Student Access Loan. The Student Access Loan is a 1% interest rate loan for qualified Georgia students. It is in the student's name. They can take it for up to $8,000 per year. Now it is considered to be a last dollar loan. So a student must have completed their financial aid and must accept Stafford loans in order to be eligible for the SAL loan. But assuming they meet that eligibility and they have remaining need, again, they can take up to $8,000 per year. Because it's in the student's name, there's not a credit check to it. More information about that is available from the Georgia Futures website, gafutures.org. The application each year opens at a specific time. This year we've been informed it will open up on June the 15th. The reason for that is that the student access loan is funded by an appropriation from the state legislature. So when they run out of money to loan, they're out of money. So because of that, they only open up the portal at certain times. Again, June the 15th is when it opens. I invite you, if you are interested in the SAL loan, and more of our students are, go ahead that first week or so, go ahead and get that information in. Now, once a student completes the application for the SAL loan, and it's found that that loan has been certified, that is the the school has said, yes, there is remaining need, that the student is eligible for that loan, they will receive some paperwork. Now, I cannot emphasize this enough. This paperwork must be returned in a timely manner, usually within about 10 days. If it's not, that loan is canceled. Sometimes our financial aid office is able to reinitiate it. Sometimes they are not. Depends on a number of factors, including the time of the year and whether or not there's still money left over to lend. Regardless, if a student receives the SAL loan, there is a $10 per month keep in touch payment or KIT payment, and that payment must remain current. And if it doesn't, that student's loan money will not be released for the next semester. This is done on a year-to-year basis, so a student getting ready to go into the second year would need to reapply for this loan. At Andrew College, we offer a number of different scholarship programs. Now, of course, being springtime, some of these, for example, the full scholarship program deadlines have already passed, but there are others that are still available. Our Pitt Scholarship is our full scholarship program. We do have a February competition for it. They will reward 2 full scholarships, 2 full room, board, and tuition scholarships. We also offer a number of other primary scholarships. Primary scholarships means that typically a student can only receive one of these. There'll be an academic scholarship, an athletic scholarship, service scholarship, a nursing scholarship, or what's known as a Tiger Grant, which is a need-based program. Now, as I mentioned, typically students are only eligible to receive one of these awards. These are known as our primary scholarships. We also offer a number of secondary scholarships, and these can be combined with primary scholarships or other secondary scholarships. And they include a publication scholarship, and there's a separate form that will come out soon for that, if students interested, and it's typically working on our yearbook staff. Fine and performing arts scholarships from $1,000 to $5,000. There is an automatic $2,000 scholarship for a student majoring in art, theater, or music. There may be opportunities, depending upon the time of year, to add to that by audition. United Methodist scholarships, because we're affiliated with United Methodist Church, students who are United Methodist may receive a United Methodist scholarship up to $1,500 per year. All we need is a letter from your pastor attesting the fact that you are a member of the United Methodist Church and have been for at least a year and are active in the church. We offer what's called the Legatee Scholarship, and that's for the children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren of Andrew College alumni, and that's up to $1,000 per year. If you are a Florida resident and you're eligible for the Bright Futures Scholarship, we do give what we refer to as the Bright Futures Match, and that is an additional $3,110 for qualified Florida students. And we must receive proof that you were awarded that scholarship, and that's how we add to your financial aid package. Now, outside scholarships, the timing's getting quickly drawing to an end for a lot of those, but there may still be a few available. We recommend a number of websites: studentaid.gov/scholarships, fastweb.com, georgiafutures.org, and Big Futures, which is a College Board product. Counselor's office or webpage may still have scholarship information. In a lot of cases, particularly since it is the springtime, those dates are quickly coming up or have already passed. However, they may have information about scholarships for next year. They may have information about some scholarships that are awarded during the summertime. A couple of different places you can turn for assistance. One is studentaid.gov. There is also, within the FAFSA, there's a help feature there that's actually pretty good. 1-800-4-FED-AID if you'd rather call. Or if you have specific questions you'd like to ask our financial aid office, they're available at financialaid@andrewcollege.edu. You can also call them at 229-732-5958. However, particularly because we have a small office. We have two full-time staff members. Because we do only have two full-time staff members, we highly encourage you to email us instead of call, because that gives a better opportunity for someone from the office to get the information for you and get it back to you in a timely manner. So thank you for joining me for the third session to our financial aid program. And I'm going to stop. I've stopped sharing my screen. I'm going to stop recording and wish you all a great day.